Are you the type of person that's always looking for the life hack, but then you wind up coming up short? Well, this week on Motivation and Confidence, we're going to give you 3 tips of what to do instead of looking for the hacks. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. And I'm your host, Tom Danger. Back this week with a new episode. And the question is, why do you look for the hack? What is the obsession with looking for the shortcut or the workaround? And every time you go for or use that hack or that shortcut, you end up being shortchanged. So I have spoke of several stories where I've been a victim of being scammed. And in every one of those stories, it was a moment where I thought I could get something at a cheaper price. I thought that I could get a result right away or in a short period of time. Or I thought that I could get a larger sum of money without putting in work or taking the time to invest it, right? And I always like to look at stories, and there are probably many that I could go into, but I want to keep it pretty current. So I'm thinking about something that may have happened recently to where I was taken advantage of. And I think that all of us, at some point, we just get so excited by living in this microwave world, in this text message world, in this social media world, to where we can get certain things in a matter of seconds, or items that just make our eyeballs rotate for a few seconds, or get these short blurbs of information that may or may not have any value, to think that, oh yeah, if I invest my money here, I'm gonna get a quick come up. And that's not always the case. And I think one of the most recent scams that I could think of, I like think of a scam or hack that I tried to do was, I'm trying to think. Shucks, what was a recent hack that I tried to do? Oh, this is a good one. So, a couple of years ago, the YouTube channel wasn't getting that many views. So I get people that email me all the time. I'm a social media manager or social media expert or SEO optimization and all this other stuff. And how many views you want in the next hour? And I was like, wow, like if I'm getting 6 views, 7 views, honestly, I have nobody to blame but myself, because I have more than enough followers to push the content out to, but I'm not putting it in front of them. And because I'm not doing that, people are not seeing it, because, you know, we only remember the last thing that we saw in our timelines. So this person comes along and they say, if you want us to, we can push up your views on your channel. And they claim, you know, this is legit, this isn't a bot, so forth and so on. So I look at it and it looks okay. Right? It looks legit. I'm looking for that short-term gratification or that instant gratification for the work that I've been doing, thinking like, hey, I should have more views. I don't know, I won't blame it on the algorithm, but still I want more views. So what can you do? So I pay this guy a couple of bucks. And lo and behold, in a few hours, The numbers start to go up, right? Now, while the numbers going up, it may look good, but if no one is interacting with the content, what good is it? It's just a number. The number means nothing. If no one is telling you thumbs up or thumbs down on a video and there's no interaction, you can't really gauge what type of content you should be making and you shouldn't be making, because there's no engagement. You need engagement. You need engagement and views, right? You can't have engagement without views. So you have to have views, but you must also have engagement. And it comes from us always looking at, or it comes from you looking at, and myself included, what other people are doing, trying to measure ourselves against someone else's success. Most of the people that you see with podcasts now that are successful, they're probably very few that have just started and it took off, right? But if you look at a person like a Joe Rogan, right? He is one of the first people who got on the podcast train, right? We're talking well over 10 years ago when everybody else was like, what is a podcast? So we can't look at Joe's listenership and downloads and try to use that as a metric when we're starting if you only get 10 views or 10 listeners, whatever it is. Instead of, and I want to point out 3 things that you should look at instead of hacks. Okay? And the first thing that you should do is celebrate your small win, or celebrate your small wins. If you've created a podcast, if you've pushed yourself to create one episode, celebrate that. And when I say celebrate it, it's not a celebration amongst your followers or family and friends. It's truly an inner celebration. It's a pat on the back to yourself to say, hey, I set out to do something, I have a voice, and I want to share it with an audience. Celebrate your small win. That's the first thing that you need to do. Get in the habit of celebrating small wins, because rarely in life do we really get those landfall wins or those jackpots. It's usually a series of small events that add up toward that particular big win. But you have to celebrate the small wins. So we're talking about 3 things you could do instead of looking for the hack. Okay? Life hacks, work hacks, whatever type of hack you're talking about. Okay? The second thing that you could do is create habits. Okay? And this can apply to any hack that you're trying to achieve. A very simple hack that most people try to do is a diet, right? A diet is temporary. A diet is something that you try to do short term for a quick result. And as you know, most of you who try diets, the diet may or may not have a quick result, but eventually you wind up going back to what you were originally, because it's a lifestyle. It's not the diet that's the problem, it's the lifestyle that's the problem. Right? So you figure if you modify your eating habits and your exercise routines for a short period of time and you see results and then life starts to kick you in the ass and you fall back into comfort, then that habit or that diet, that temporary fix that you work on, goes right back to its original state. So you want to create habits. Whatever it is that you want to do, write it down. Create a habit of it. Make it into a lifestyle. Saying goes, 21 days to make a change, 90 days of consistency to make a lifestyle. Okay? And the third thing that you want to do is you want to stay consistent. Whatever it is that you're working on, you have to be consistent. Because without consistency, you can't even see what's working and what's not working. And your consistency should not be measured against someone else's. You have to set your own measurement. You have to set your own metric. You have to set your own bar. Do what is comfortable for you. Set your goals to where you know that you can work toward those goals and stick to them. And when you have a challenge of being consistent, sometimes you may need a support group. Sometimes you may need an accountability partner. And there are plenty of places where you could find online, free. Go on Facebook, you can find, there's a bunch of Facebook groups, accountability partners could be if you know someone else that wants to reach the same goal as you, rather than to look for the shortcut diet, get that workout buddy or get that lunch buddy, even if it's on Zoom. Hey, what you eating today? I'm just checking in. One thing that I like to do for those of you who follow on Instagram is I'll post the workout routine, the books that are being read, the juices that are being drank, and some of the foods that I eat, not to bore you, but as a reminder to put it out there. Hey, if you want to make changes to your lifestyle, here are the things that are being done consistently. I'm showing you inside what I do so that you can apply it to see how fit it works for you. You don't have to do the exact same thing. I'm just showing you what you can do, sort of like social proof, right? And for those of you who have the means within your budget, if you need to, get a life coach. Get a life coach to help you do that self-assessment so that you can become more self-aware, find out who you are, why you make the decisions that you make, so that you can make the necessary changes to get the results and to reach the goals or to get past the challenges that you may face. So let me know in the comments what you're going to do instead of looking for the hack. You can go to tomdanger.com, www.tomdanger.com, and send a message there. And until next week, this is Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best.